Setting goals is probably the most important thing when it comes to you wanting to level up and get to the next level. I remember when I first started and I was kind of just frolicking around. I didn't really know what to do with my life, to be fair. And I remember I kind of had nothing to work for. I was working, but I wasn't really working towards anything. Well, I knew that like the long term goals. I was like, I want to be a millionaire and I want to retire my parents and I want to do this and that. And a lot of the goals that people have in common. But what really helped me improve a lot this summer, these last 2 months, has been the setting of goals. And a lot of people think setting a goal is like New Year's resolutions. Like, I want to lose 20 pounds this year, or I want to lose weight, or I want to get my money up this year. Goals are something that's a lot more, I guess, in depth than that. Because, of course, you have your long term goals, you have your midterm goals, and you have your short term goals. But in order to achieve your long term goals, you have to reverse engineer and you have to dissect those long-term goals and you have to set midterm goals, and it's the same process with the midterm goals. In order for you to achieve those midterm goals, you have to dissect them and reverse engineer and set short-term goals, which is kind of what I've been doing. I've been in the process of, I have my long-term goals. I don't have them with me, so I can't really say what they are, but I know that it's like by the end of this year have a fully systematized business and have my offer fully up and running and have a way sharper skill set. Those are midterm goals. Long term goals are like 5 years plus. My 5 year plus goals are a bit complicated since it's been a little bit foggy since everything keeps changing so drastically, but that's not the point right now. I'm not talking about my goals. I'm talking about setting these goals. And I think even more important than long term goals are the short term goals that you put for yourself, because once you hit those short term goals, that's what really gives you that dopamine and what really kind of helps you keep on pushing. Because those long-term goals, they're hard to achieve. They're long-term goals for a reason. You're not going to achieve them overnight, and whenever we're working towards those goals, we tend to forget what it is that we're working for, and it gets hard. I'm going to be honest. You wake up and you're like, do I really want to do this? Do I like really want to achieve this? Am I and sometimes you completely forget what it is that you're working for. You're like, why the fuck did I start again? Like, I can just get a job and work a lot more peacefully and live more calmly without as much pressure on my back. But setting those short term goals really just kind of opens your mindset. You're like, you wake up and you're like, I have to do this, this, and this today. And by the end of this week, I have to achieve this, this, and this. What I do is I went on Google Docs and I opened a Google Sheets. And what you can do is you can set like weekly goals. Like, there's a template for it. You can like go to goals, and that's what I do. Whenever I have like on Sundays, Sundays are my goal setting days and my re- rehab days, and like I revisualize what it is that I did during the week, and I see on how I can improve and why I did what. So those are my Sundays. That's what I do with my Sundays. But what I like to do is I like to talk into a mic, or not a mic, but like my phone. I talk into it and I tell it like what my goals are for the week, and I go in and I write them down on my computer. So whenever I'm working and I kind of forget, I'm like, all right, I finished this. What else am I working for? Because whenever you're doing something and you get completely immersed, you tend to forget things, and you're like, well, I finished this, and I did this, this, and this. But what else do I have to do after this? I don't know if it happens to everyone. I'm sure it happens to most people, and there probably is an exception who just have a better memory than me. But for people who do struggle with that, that helps a lot. And just your short-term goals just help you keep pushing. To be fair, it helps you stay disciplined. It gives you a purpose. Of course, your long-term goals are what really, you know, push us, because long-term goals are like to have made $100,000. That's a good long-term goal. I guess depends on where you are. People make that in a week, but like that can be a decent long-term goal if you're just starting, making your first 100,000, and then after that you set another long-term goal, which is your first million. And then once you hit those, like before you hit that long-term goal, you have to have hit multiple short-term goals. Even if you didn't put those short-term goals, there were still goals that you had to do, like things that you had to accomplish to get to that point. So in order for you, it also makes it way simpler to get to that goal because you know what you have to do to get to that point, and it just simplifies the process a lot more. And yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk about today. And if there's anything that you got from this video is set goals weekly, preferably, so that you can kind of dissect those weekly goals into daily goals, and it just simplifies your tasks a lot more. You can even make those goals like tasks, like things that you have to accomplish. But yeah, um, set goals and goals just the equal, probably equally as important as actually giving it your all, which it also makes the process simpler. But yeah, anyways, peace.